Come on, Annie. Let's go to the movies.
This is the Cinereelists episode 570. My name is Zach.
My name is James.
We're here to talk about movies and movie lists and movie obsession for the next hour or so. How's that sound to you, James?
It sounds good.
Great.
Zach and I are in the same room.
Yeah, we're at Site B.
Is this Site B?
It's on Site A.
Site A is Zoom, isn't it, at this point?
Yeah.
So this is Site B?
Well, yeah. Do we?
I figure your place is Site B. This is Site C.
Site C.
Yeah.
We are sightseeing today.
We
How do you feel about that, James? James suggested we do this live because Kyle's MIA. And so he said, let's do it live. And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Please, back to our roots.
Sure. Who's the news anchor who screams, "Do it live"? Have you seen that
Yes.
clip on YouTube?
Yeah. O'Reilly.
Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I need that soundbite in here. Maybe not the first half of that quote, but the "Do it live" part.
Yeah, I love. First of all, I love the soundboard. I think in theory I would not love the soundboard. In theory, the soundboard
What do you
is it's annoying, but in practice, it's hilarious.
I don't understand what you mean.
So your little sound effects,
Right.
in theory, is like L.A. morning, disc jockey kind of nonsense.
You think?
Yeah, but in practice, I find it hilarious.
I don't think so, because the LA people are like, boing. You know what I mean? It's like that type of stuff. Most of mine are like Kyle saying ridiculous things.
Yours gives me more the Rosie O'Donnell show vibes than it gives me LA
Rosie
morning.
O'Donnell show vibes.
Did you ever watch the Rosie O'Donnell show?
I guess not, because
Okay.
she had a soundboard and
She did have a
people
sound.
playing-
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
She had a soundboard that she used constantly. And I am a firm believer that the Rosie O'Donnell show was the best daytime talk show ever.
You think so? Huh?
I do. It was quality.
Interesting.
I just rewatched an episode of her talking to Barbara Streisand.
Uh-huh.
And Barbara Streisand apparently on all of her talk shows insists on only being seen from like her good side. So
Okay.
most talk shows have the host on the right and the guest on the left, but her good
Sure.
side is the other side. And so whenever she goes on a talk show, they flip around the whole set.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So on Rosie, they flipped the set, and I saw her on like David Letterman or something, and they'd flipped the set so that the guest is now on the right and the host is on the left.
And do they flip it back in post so that nobody notices?
No. They leave it flipped.
That's wild.
Yeah. So that's the
She
power.
still does that,
Barbra
even though
Streisand.
nobody cares about Barbara Streisand anymore.
I don't know if she's still going on talk shows
Yeah, I
because
haven't
no
seen her
one
on
cares
there.
about Barbara Streisand. But
Right.
In the 90s, she was doing this.
That's wild. Barbara Streisand effect. Sounds exactly like one of those things where it's like, now that we know her bad side,
Yeah.
that's all I want to see.
You just want to see that side of her.
I
Well,
just
good
wanna
luck
see
finding it.
The
Good
bad
luck.
side of her.
Yeah.
Like, it must be hideous to go to those lengths, right?
No, I think I don't know anything about Barbara Streisand.
She's like Two-Face,
whatsoever.
evidently.
No one's ever seen it, so she might be two celebrities, and we
Yeah.
just don't know it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Wild stuff. For sure.
Were you doing a Johnny Carson?
Johnny Carson impression. Yeah.
Great.
You caught that.
Of course
You
I caught
also are old. If you caught that.
that. Well, I'm not Johnny Carson old, but I'm
old enough for you to know that.
old enough to have watched Johnny Carson reruns
Sure.
when they were on TV.
I don't think I've ever seen Johnny Carson, to be honest. I only know that because of like Howard Stern doing an impression of Johnny Carson.
Oh, okay. Well, I know it from watching Johnny Carson do it
Okay.
on like Nick at Night or something like that.
Sure.
Is
Is he still on like Nick at Night? He still on
Nick
TV?
at Night still on?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah,
I don't know
have-
anything about cable channels anymore.
I don't have cable. My in-laws are visiting right now, which has been awesome. Whenever they come, my family does way more fun activities. You know what I mean? Like, because they want to
Sure.
like go out and do things, and so the kids like get all these fun adventures. But they also watch TV, which is not something that I do or our family does. And so
You
I have
mean
to.
like cable TV.
Well, we don't have cable, but like
I understand.
channels.
Right.
And so I have to like every time figure out how to switch the TV over to TV.
But like over the air
Yeah.
not satellite, but digital, whatever, digital signal.
Yeah, and we have to like plug in an antenna and then like put it on a special table, like with the cord running across the room. Yeah.
You could also get what do they call it? Tubi. Get Tubi.
What exactly is Tubi? I'm opposed
Tubi
to
is
the name.
Why?
It's too cutesy.
Okay.
Unnecessarily so.
Tubi is an app that has on-demand programming, but it also has channels. So if you want like the basics that maybe a cable network would have, it might be on Tubi.
Does it have NBC?
Yes, but it has NBC's national stream.
Oh, that might work then. Okay.
So there's really none of like their primetime programming on it.
Oh, that won't work. They want to watch CBS and NBC and ABC, you know.
Sure. Those they might be on there. I don't know. But what show do they like to watch?
I don't know. FBI. And one of them is called FBI.
Okay. I bet there's a channel on Tubi that is 24 hours of the FBI show.
No, but of the latest, like it's Tuesday night and the new
Gotcha.
episode of FBI comes, you know.
I'm
Like
just
TV.
saying.
Like, remember back in the day when you watched TV?
Sure.
It's like Thursday night.
Right.
That's what they want. That's what they do.
Tubi has normal channels here and there, but for the most of their channels are like, for some reason, there's like a Chips channel.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like
Like
they're
a Brady
just paying
Bunch
24
channel.
hours Chips.
Yeah, it's amazing. I would watch that channel. I like Chips.
I would watch it as a curiosity for a little while, but
You don't like Chips?
I remember liking it as a kid, but I'm sure if I was to watch it now, it would feel very repetitive. I bet it's the same story with slight tweaks every episode over and over and over again.
Yeah, I'm sure.
With like no bigger story arc.
Well, definitely no bigger story arc.
Right.
For sure. But there's a blonde guy and a dark-haired guy on motorcycles. It's comedy gold.
Yeah, it was awesome for a long time as a kid. As an adult, I can see lots of shows with blonde guys and dark-haired guys as cops.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, welcome to the podcast. This is episode 570. Thanks for being here with us. We're glad you joined us for what is a pretty special episode because it's fairly rare for us to have a list that is not attached to a movie.
It's not 10 movies.
Or really about movies at all.
Yeah. Yeah, this is tangentially related to movies.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of another list. I don't think we've ever done a list that's not at least related to a genre or subgenre of movies or like an actor or whatever.
Did we ever do our top? I've always wanted to do this. I just don't know if we did. Our movie theater manifesto. Like etiquette rules and all that kind of stuff of a movie theater.
I don't feel like we've done that, but we did do top 10 theater experiences, I think.
Yeah, we did.
Which I guess is like similar to the list we're going to do today.
Mm-hmm.
Related to movies, but not really about movies. So yeah, we're going to talk our top 10 most wanted Letterboxd features. It sounds like Zach has a little more than 10, but we're going to go over whatever we decided to make our list.
I do have more than 10. If you're unfamiliar with Letterboxd, it is one of the largest movie social media platforms on the internet.
And it's the only one with any like real film snob cachet, I would say.
Oh, there's ones with film snob cachet. Like I check
Like
movies has film snob cachet.
I don't think so.
That's because you're not on it. You don't know.
Well, that is true that I'm not on it. I mean, I do have an account. Haven't touched it in probably 8 years. But
when I think of a film snob, I think of two things. I think of you, and then I think of
thanks.
And I think of people that I check movies that literally are checking off that they've seen the most famous like art movies ever.
Yeah, but I feel like as somebody who doesn't frequent the site, I feel like I check movies users are not necessarily film snobs. They're just obsessives who want to finish lists. Some of them don't even care about the movies. They just want to have finished the list.
Interesting. I don't know how you form that opinion, but I would say they're probably both at the same time.
Sure.
obsessives that are film snobs. That's why they're doing those lists and not other lists.
Gotcha.
There's easier lists to do than
Some of the
those.
ones
Yeah.
on iCheck
Mhm.
Movies.
Yeah.
To be fair, I'm sure Letterboxd has its share of obsessives as well,
But
sure. But
I will also say I don't consider myself a film snob, and I'm on iCheck Movies. I'm a film lover.
do you?
James.
I understand you're a movie lover. I don't know
I'm
about a film lover, but
both. I love both films and movies.
Right, but you're a movie lover.
Yeah, I am a movie
love
lover.
film, but you're a movie lover.
Big movie lover for sure. What about you?
Not a
James?
film lover. You love film,
I do love film.
but you're not a film lover.
I'm not a film lover. Why do you get to decide if
They
I'm
feel like different things to me.
I am a film lover.
I don't think so. Let's not go into the difference between a film lover and a lover of film.
I wouldn't. I would love to argue with you about that, but I would not know where to start, James. I just do not know where to start on that. So Letterboxd, social media, we use it. We talk about it all the time on the show. Most of you are probably familiar with it if you're not already on it. If you're at all interested in rating movies, then you should be on it because it's fun.
Agreed. And that being said, we're going to spend a good half hour or so complaining about it. But only be in good faith. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, these are things that we like the site, and if it had these things, it would make it even better.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. It will be a celebration of optimism on my side because I believe one day all of these things will happen.
Oh, on my side, I believe almost none of the things I'm going to suggest are going to happen because they're so obvious. They should have done them already if they hadn't.
Yeah.
If they thought they were ever going to do it.
Well, it took years for the iPhone to get copy and paste.
That's
so
That's true.
Miracles happen, James.
Miracles do happen. We're going to jump into that. But first, we need to remind you there's a video version of this podcast on YouTube. Go to YouTube, search Cinereelists, find the podcast there.
And I just want to say, we're in James's apartment. And so if you go to the YouTube and you look right now, you'll see his kitchen. That's James's kitchen. And
wow.
You'll also notice that anytime I look James in the eyes, it looks like I'm looking up at a giant because of the way the laptops are positioned. And anytime I look like I'm looking at James, it's because I'm looking down at my computer and I can't see him.
Right. So you're going to be looking up most of it.
Yeah.
It looks same like with me. You look like a giant too.
Yeah, both of us look like we're looking up at a much taller podcast host.
Right. Yeah, so those are reasons to go check out the video version, I guess, on YouTube.
If that's not a reason, I don't know what is.
I don't know what is either. Also, support us on Patreon, patreon.com/Cinereelists. Leave us an Apple podcast review. We'd appreciate that. And it's free, 5 stars only. Or send us a listener email to heyguys@cinereelists.com, REEL with an S on the end. We're going to talk a couple listener emails here in a few minutes. In fact, we're going to start this episode with a little bit of like listener/viewer feedback, which include the emails.
Okay.
But also for the first time, we'll include YouTube comments.
Oh, great.
We've been putting these episodes on YouTube for a while, and we get comments every now and then. Not super often, but every now and then. And sometimes people ask questions in there. Sometimes they just make statements. We're not going to go over all of them, but
I don't know any of these, by the way.
These are in the I haven't responded tab.
Okay.
All right. Great. Of YouTube. So we've never
press the do it live button.
I don't have a do it live button. I have to program it in advance.
Do it live.
Okay. So we're going to respond here. And because that's where you reply to YouTube comments, not in the comments, but on the podcast.
Change medium.
This is from Binocore. Okay.
All right.
Binocore writes, Julianne Moore is awesome, but I get Zach's point. The extreme example of this for me is Jared Leto. Cannot stand his acting. So a lot of people listening to this might not know anything about this conversation because it was on a Patreon episode.
Yeah.
But the essential part is Zach doesn't like Julianne Moore's acting style.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
The most fair way I've ever heard you characterize it. That was good.
I wasn't done yet. Despite the fact that she's an Academy Award winning
Yeah,
actor
absolutely.
and that most people don't have a problem with it.
Well, we don't know that.
Most people?
We don't know that.
Come on.
Do you know that?
I know. Yeah.
You know
I'm
that?
comfortable saying most people don't have the same objection to Julianne Moore as you do.
Well, we don't know that. How do you know that?
How do you know that they do?
I don't have to prove it one way or the other.
I don't either.
You're making the affirmative
I'm making
statement.
the
about
affirmative
what
statement.
the majority of humanity feels about her acting.
If you want me to, I'll justify where I came to that opinion.
How'd you get that?
One, she did win an Academy Award, and Academy Awards are voted on by people.
No, but most people are not Academy
I'm just saying,
voting members.
Evidence I can point to is that Academy voters.
So a very elite subset of people that are not normal approve of her acting.
This is my proof.
Okay. I love it.
Academy Award voters, which might be a small subsection of elite people, like her acting, which happens to be other actors. Other actors like her acting enough to give her an Academy Award. Okay?
Let me ask you this on your point.
Yes.
Do you find that the average Joe on the street tends to agree with the Academy Award winners' picks? Or they're like, I've never heard of this movie. This is lame.
Right. And you're saying that she's not in good movies because the average person wouldn't know the movie?
I'm saying when we're talking about what the majority of people think about Julianne Moore, I'm just saying the average Joe Blow American
wouldn't even know her name.
Well, or just probably thinks the opposite of whatever an Academy voter thinks about things.
You think they think the opposite of what Academy vote?
I
think it's more likely they don't care.
I've watched the Oscars with people that aren't super obsessed.
Right.
And the most often comment is like, I've never heard of these movies. These movies look dumb.
Really? Who are you watching the Oscars with?
The average American.
These movies look dumb.
Every year I try to find the most average American I can. A random sampling, and I watch the Oscars.
Sure.
Okay. Do you have any more points, or should we move on? Should we move on?
Yeah. Point number 2. She continues to get work. Okay.
Not in Turkey.
Not in Turkey.
Did you see this?
No.
She was hired by the Turkish Tourism Institute.
Okay.
To do a series of commercials for them to visit Turkey, and they fired her for bad acting. There's articles about this where she was let go because they said her acting was so bad.
Wow. I want to see these commercials.
Oh, well, you'll never see them.
I can't imagine what they were supposed to be if she was badly acting in them.
Yeah, I don't know what so they said that she was phoning it in and they had to fire her.
Phoning it in. So she wasn't doing her normal job.
No, I didn't. I added the phoning it in.
Oh, okay.
That was not in the article.
Gotcha.
I think she was trying her hardest. And just couldn't hack it.
I doubt it. Anyway, other than Turkey's tourism board or whatever it was,
the average tourism board, I would say the Turkey tourism board is right in the middle.
Could be
tourism boards.
I couldn't tell you. Generally, she is enough of a draw.
Oh, yeah.
Meaning that she's popular enough or has enough of a reputation or a name, has made enough of those things for herself
to pull them in,
that she regularly gets work. Now, but it's not Marvel movies, but
she's not in a James Cameron film, though.
Is she not?
Is she?
I don't think she is. But she's in movies.
Can I just pause for a second to say that, did you hear that James Cameron now has the number 1, number 3, and number 4 highest box office films of all time?
I believe it. Yeah.
3 of the top 4.
It's not surprising.
Wild.
I mean, if you look at his movies that have done that well, they are often criticized for being simplistic and playing on very tropey things, but in really spectacular ways.
Yeah. And that's because the cliche tropes work
internationally.
Yeah.
Yep. For sure. If Endgame had more international appeal, it would be still number 1. but the bulk of the money that it made, in comparison to the bulk of those Cameron of the Cameron movies that are on that list made, is domestic.
Yeah. By the way, if you're listening and you're like, when are they going to get to whatever they're going to get to? Just let you know, there's nothing you're waiting for. We're not going to get to anything that makes this all worth it. If you're not interested, I don't know what to tell you.
Come back when we're talking about a movie.
Can I say something that might blow your mind about Julianne Moore?
I can't wait. This is a Julianne Moore fun fact.
I do not think I don't resonate with her acting style.
Sure.
I think I get excited to see a movie that she's in. You're
excited for Still Alice?
I would rather see a movie that she's in than a movie that she's not in. All things being equal. And do you know why that is, James?
Why?
Because she's very good at picking projects. She's in good movies.
She is in good movies.
Yeah. In fact, there's many movies that she's in, for instance, Magnolia and Children of Men, that I love. So I think she's good at picking projects, maybe better than acting. Okay. And so if she's in something, I think there's a good chance I'll like it. To the point of this week, I saw she's on a Netflix movie, like some con movie. I super want to see it. And I think she's the lead.
A con movie?
I think it's about a con artist or something. I don't know what it's called, like Killers or something. I don't know what it's called.
Julianne Moore Netflix.
But I actually am pretty excited to see it.
Sharper is I don't believe it's on Netflix. I think it's somewhere else. It's on Apple TV Plus.
Okay.
And it's an A24 movie.
Cool.
I brought it up during The Hangover and you were like, I don't care.
A slick con trick movie that nearly pulls off the perfect crime.
Nearly.
I'm excited to see it. And that is a Julianne Moore film.
So you're excited because she has good taste in movies, but not because she's in the movie. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, Binocore said his most extreme example of your Julianne Moore bias is Jared Leto.
Sure. What do you think about Jared
You
Leto?
kind of feel the same thing about Jared Leto, right?
It's a slightly different with Jared Leto.
Okay.
I think he's maybe a good actor. I don't know, because I'm too blinded by the fact that I'm annoyed by him as a person.
Right.
I find the
general
man,
aura.
Yeah, the man annoying.
Okay.
And so him in a movie
is like,
yeah.
Is like, what do you get, like chills when you think about it, or?
I don't get chills. No. Okay. But I think man, I heard stories of like how weird he was when he played Joker.
Right. He like gave people dead rats as presents.
I'm not into that kind of thing.
Sure.
What do you think about Jared Leto?
I'm fine with Jared Leto, I guess. I mean, I don't like the rat thing either, but it's not a cancelable offense or anything like that.
I'm not trying to cancel him.
I thought he was really good in House of Gucci, like unrecognizable until the credits at the end.
Okay.
And that's kind of shocking. He was also in that movie with Matthew
Dallas Buyers Club?
Dallas Buyers Club. He was really good in that.
He's awesome in Requiem for a Dream. Well, maybe not awesome, but that's an awesome movie.
He's good in that.
He's fine.
Everybody's good, as good as they're going to be.
He's no Jared Leto's mom in that movie, but
Ellen Bernstein?
Is that? I don't know.
I think that's her name. He was good in Blade Runner 2049 too. I liked him in that.
Yeah, he was in that.
I would have seen more of him in Blade Runner 2050.
Yeah,
any day.
Yeah.
That's about it. Everything else he sucks.
Have you seen Mr. Nobody?
No.
That has popped up 1,000 times in the last decade of a movie that some algorithm thinks I should watch. Do you know anything about this movie?
Yeah. I know that it's divisive for sure. There's definitely some movies in here. Thin Red Line. I don't remember him being in that, but
everyone's
a lot of people were in that. He was in American Psycho. I don't remember that. He must have a really tiny role. He was great in Panic Room. He's one of the home invaders in Panic Room.
Okay. Was Forrest Whitaker in that movie?
I don't think it was Forrest Whitaker, but maybe it was.
I like Panic Room.
It was Forrest Whitaker and Dwight Yoakam and Jared Leto.
Kristen Stewart and Jodie Foster.
Yeah, Kristen Stewart plays the daughter. Panic Room, one of the few Fincher movies not on Blu-ray for some reason.
You know why that is, right?
No, I don't.
Neither do I.
Okay, there we go. It might be the only Fincher movie not on Blu-ray.
I think it is on Blu-ray.
I don't believe it is.
On Blu-ray.com, they sell it.
They sell it in the United States or in some other country?
I don't know much about these things. It's on pre-order.
Yeah, I don't think it exists. He was also in Phone Booth.
Ooh, I liked Phone Booth.
You remember him in Phone Booth?
No.
Right.
He's not the killer or the guy in the phone booth.
He is Bobby, which is a deleted scene. How do you not know about this, Zach? Didn't you watch the deleted scenes of Phone Booth?
Question.
Yes.
Do you think Jared Leto owns a copy of Phone Booth?
Owns a copy? I think he knows where to find his deleted scene. I don't know if he owns a
Do you
copy
think
of the
he
whole
owns a
movie.
copy? That's the question. Does he own the movie with the special features?
I don't think Jared Leto owns a copy of most of his movies. So no, I don't think he owns Phone Booth. I don't think he even cares about his movies, to be honest.
Really?
I think he's like one of these guys who just does a thing and then he's like,
Okay.
he never sees the final product.
If you were a famous actor,
Mhm.
would you be the type of famous actor that watches all your movies and likes the movies, likes the projects you're in, kind of a thing?
Sure.
Or you'd be the kind of actor that can't stand watching themselves on screen and half of your movies you haven't watched or only watched once?
I think I would definitely be the kind that would watch my own stuff. For sure. What about you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'd want to be
I'd
excited
probably
about what people are
obsessively
excited
watch
about.
it, to be honest.
That would be awesome. Like Avatar style? No, sorry, like Aviator style, where you lock yourself in a room and you're just watching.
Watching the same thing over and over and over again. Yeah. A lot of these other things I've never even. He was in that Morbius movie. His next movie is Haunted Mansion, a live action reboot of the Disney ride Haunted Mansion.
Great.
Just coming out this year.
Well, thanks for the comment.
Yeah. Thanks for the comment.
Binocore.
That's number 1 of 20 comments. Ready? No, I'm kidding. There's not that many that we're going to touch on. This is from Helen Graves.
Okay.
Helen Graves
is
wrote
both of my grandmother's names.
Interesting. Well, maybe they teamed up to leave this comment.
Would surprise me.
This comment was left on our spoiler review for Glass Onion.
Okay.
She wrote, tiny clue, Helen's hair is parted on the opposite side of Andy's. Remember?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert for...
That is a spoiler alert.
Well, nobody would know what that means.
Okay.
Until just a second from now when we're going to spoil it. It's a spoiler alert. It's a spoiler alert for Glass Onion. If you haven't seen it and you don't want to know this, just skip forward a minute or two. So in the movie, there's a twin, and at some point the twins swap, and one person has similar hairstyle, but evidently the part changes. I think in that episode we were arguing over whether there were enough clues for that to be like fair to the audience, and still don't say that's a good enough clue. To make it a twist.
I get what you're saying, but it's the kind of clue that a movie detective would solve a case with,
Sure. If you're Sherlock Holmes and you're at home watching a movie trying to solve it, then yes. She adds, though I can't remember how many shots we see of real Andy before the reveal. So can you tell the difference in the parts before the reveal?
No idea.
I don't think you can, because I think the movie starts with Helen, but as
Helen's the commenter.
Helen's the commenter. This is from Helen Graves, but the clue is Helen's hair.
Wait,
is
they're
parted
both
opposite.
named Helen? The commenter is named Helen, and the character in the movie she's commenting about?
I believe so, yes.
Well, that's shocking.
It is really.
Does Helen
And they're both related to your
to my
grandmother.
does Helen only comment about characters with the same? Is that why she
Yeah,
does she feel a kinship?
I think so. I'm
This
looking
is
at her
a-
comment history right now. Every single one is about somebody named Helen. Weird. No, the movie starts out with
Helen Brand.
with
This is amazing.
with Andy. The movie starts out with Andy. That's really Helen, and then you spend a lot of time with Andy, as played by Helen. And you don't get splashbacks. You don't get flashbacks to real Andy.
What would a splashback be?
No, you do. You get flashbacks to real Andy
Yeah,
before the Helen Andy reveal.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because he's describing to Poirot or whatever that guy's name is, like how he knows Andy.
Benoit
and stuff
Blanc.
like that. Right.
Yeah. You would
So-
know that if your name was Benoit as well.
I definitely
You would clue into it like Helen does.
I'd probably leave a comment about it. Good input. Thank you, Helen. This one's from Rick's with an S. RICS.
Well, of course with an S.
Rick left this comment on our Tar episode.
Okay.
He wrote, "Loved the Tar conversation. It's the film and performance for the books. Masterclass, in my opinion." Rick's is a movie snob. He's a real movie snob.
Masterclass. Is he saying our conversation was a masterclass or the movie?
I think he's talking about, obviously, the conversation.
I think so. Because he says love the conversation.
Right. It couldn't have possibly about the movie.
No,
It's
no.
more
and
about our conversation.
Can you read his comment again? Because he's
Loved
watching.
the Tar conversation.
Yeah.
It's the film and performance for the books.
And he's saying this watching the YouTube video of our conversation.
Right.
Okay.
Or AKA film.
Yeah.
Some people call it a YouTube video.
I
I call
YouTube
it a
film.
film.
I say YouTube films.
Right.
Yeah, I do. I'm gonna watch a film on YouTube.
Of two people talking over Zoom.
I'm a film lover.
Mostly three, but sometimes two.
Sometimes two.
Um,
In that case, 3.
Masterclass.
Masterclass.
For sure. He continues, and yes, guys, Blanchett, one name, played the piano.
He calls her just
Blanchett.
Yeah.
And yes, guys, Blanchett played the piano and conducted the orchestra herself.
No, those were CG hands on the conducting the orchestra. I think it was her body, CG hands.
It's not possible, too, that the orchestra just knew the tune
Okay,
and
keep going.
played to whatever she was miming with her hands. It's possible, though, that she actually learned how to conduct. I don't know.
I believe it. I believe it.
I believe it. He adds, music was done live, never in post.
That's impressive.
Never?
Never,
Never?
James. This is the
What if they
score
had
of
to
the
take another
film.
take?
The score of the film, they're just off screen, like when she's like having dramatic moments all over the place, just off screen. There's someone with a violin.
Yeah, that's wild. I didn't
No,
know
that
they
I
did
like
that.
when movies do that. The only other movie I can think of was Les Miserables. They sang all of their songs like live.
Right, but
that was the big
but
deal.
the music itself was not on set.
I think it was
They had an orchestra on set playing.
Probably not. They
Yeah.
probably did not.
I don't think they did
Okay.
that. They did
But
that
the voices,
afterwards.
they did.
I mean, in Tar, is there no music other than the scenes where
I think
she's?
that there is. That's probably not what he's referring to. I think he's saying the composing, not the conducting scenes.
Those were
live.
played live. Okay,
Great.
could be. I don't know. We'll have to take his word for it, I guess. He is Rick with an S. This next one is from Snooze 00.
Snooze 00.
Snooze 00.
Was Snooze 0 taken?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Snooze 00 writes
00. Snooze with a Z.
with a Z.
Okay.
Z-E. Hi there. I would like to submit a movie recommendation.
Hey.
Alexandra's Project. Alexandra's Project. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
Me neither. And ignore the Rotten Tomatoes score.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
boy.
Uh-oh.
That's when you know.
As this movie is one of those you either dig it or it will annoy you immensely type of movies. Ha ha.
Okay. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
A regular suburban family man comes home from work on his birthday to find a deserted house and a videotape waiting to be played.
This reminds me of another movie.
I will say that there's an Helen in here. The main actress is named Helen, and the main actor, his name is very similar to my uncle's name. Very similar.
Okay. Interesting.
So
Thanks for that, I think.
very similar to my uncle's name.
Interesting. He continues. On the DVD cover, it says, as powerful as a paint stripper.
What does that mean?
A paint stripper is like,
No, I know what a paint stripper is. What does it mean to be as powerful as a paint stripper?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think they're saying like it's abrasive.
Oh, okay.
It's Australian made and was nominated for 5 AFI awards. Give it a poke. The director also wrote and directed Bad Boy Bubby, which you may be familiar with. Not familiar with that either. How about you, Zach?
No, but
Bad
it looks
Boy
like
Bubby.
it looks like the bad boy Bubby is a priest.
Okay. I will be eager to hear your opinions on this one.
I'm open to it, but James, this really looks like your cup of tea
Why do you say that?
because you love found footage movies.
Oh, it's a found footage movie?
No, but the plot is he goes home and he finds a videotape waiting to be played.
Oh, it's on Tubi. What?
Perfect. We talked about Tubi.
Not on this episode. we
So
didn't.
he
That was
finds
before we recorded.
Yeah, he finds footage.
I think. Was that before we recorded?
No, it was during the recording.
Oh, okay.
We've covered a lot of ground already today.
We really have. I'm all for it. There's another movie that I forget the name of that sounds very, very similar to this.
Okay.
I forget the name of it, but it's like this family finds a VHS tape and they pop it in, and it's a static shot of their front door from like way far away. And then the next day, there's another tape and they pop it in, and it's like 10 feet closer.
Oh, that's creepy.
And then over the course of a week, it just keeps getting closer and closer to the door. And like this couple is like melting down because nobody will help them because nothing illegal has happened, right? They go to the police, and the police are like, so somebody's messing with you. Like nothing.
Yeah.
We can't do anything about a tape. So
I think that you could still do something about tape.
about somebody leaving a tape on your door?
Yeah.
Why? It's not. There's nothing.
Harassment.
Is that harassment?
That sounds harassing to me.
How is it harassing? It's literally just a tape of your front door.
Closer and closer and closer?
Yeah.
That's harassment.
I don't think that's harassment.
Harassment is aggressive pressure or intimidation.
I mean,
Is it intimidating for someone to show?
if you're easily intimidated, sure.
I find that intimidating. Would you be you would not be intimidated if someone?
I think in a court of law, it would be hard to define just the act of a tape getting closer and closer to your front door as intimidating. Because it could very easily not be intimidating
Okay,
to some people.
Florida statute. Engage in a course of conduct directed at a specific person,
Mhm.
check. That causes substantial emotional distress, check.
Sure.
To that person and serves no legitimate purpose.
What if you don't know their purpose until they do whatever they're going to do?
Okay.
So how do you know if there's a legitimate purpose or not?
Cyber stalking. Engage in a course of conduct to communicate or cause to be communicated directly or indirectly through images, words, or language,
Mm-hmm.
or by the use of electronic mail or electronic communication directed at a specific person.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of words here. Leaving a tape, slowly zooming in on their front door. No. I don't want to encourage this, James. So let's tell our listeners it's illegal.
Okay.
So they don't all go out and start doing this.
Fair enough. I really wish I could remember which movie it is. If you're listening to this and you're on YouTube or you want to send us an email.
The user review for this movie says, yes, this movie is probably the height of sickness.
Great.
I think
Now I have to watch it.
I think you'll like it. You like Australian films?
I do like Australian films. It's labeled a thriller too. I mean,
Yeah.
as long as it's not a horror movie, I'm fine with it. Thank you for the comment, Snooze.
0
He
0.
also says, and I recommended Ripley's Game on YouTube comments, which is a movie that I watched based on a listener recommendation, and I couldn't remember who recommended it because I couldn't find it in email. And now I understand why I couldn't find it, because he left a YouTube
comment. And how was Ripley's Game?
It was good. It was weird because Ripley's Game is a sequel of sorts to The Talented Mr. Ripley,
No, really?
but they replaced
with John Malkovich.
with John Malkovich. So it's like when he's much older
That's fun.
than he was. And it's John Malkovich.
That's great.
And it was fine. It wasn't anything crazy good, but it wasn't anything bad either.
Okay.
So then this one's from Andrew James, who's been on the podcast before. He left us a YouTube comment on our episode 547, which was Fall. And he writes, Zach automatically wins with his number 7 pick. So let's look up Cinereelists.
Well, there we go.
Cinereelists.
What more needs to be said?
I want to know what your number 7 pick is.
What
Fall.
episode?
Cinereelist Fall top 10. Hopefully your list is in here. Episode website. There we go. And your number 7 was Spring, Summer, Fall, Winter, and Spring. I don't know what that is.
What was the list? I do know what that movie
The
is.
list was a top 10 movies with season in the title.
Oh, yeah. I had 5 seasons, and there's only 4 seasons.
Oh, okay.
So that's pretty good.
That's why.
Yeah.
Not because it's a good movie.
No, it's a good movie. You never seen that?
I've never seen that. No. Never even heard of it until, well, it's probably the second time I've heard of it. First time was when you mentioned it on that episode.
It's good.
Sure.
It's South Korean.
All right. Let's see. I think that's it for YouTube comments. We got a
Okay.
couple of emails here.
What do you got?
First one is from good old Troy Carruthers, our friend from Canada. Troy writes regarding Rain Man, which is a discussion we had a couple episodes ago. Rain Man came up and we couldn't quite determine whether the character in Rain Man, played by Dustin Hoffman, if he was referred to as Rain Man in Rain Man, or if the movie itself was referring to him as Rain Man, or if Rain Man was a derogatory term before the movie Rain Man came out for people who were on the
Who had
autism
autism,
spectrum, or if it became a derogatory term because of the movie that referenced somebody on the spectrum
Right.
as Rain Man. Troy writes, someone during the Me, Myself, and I Rate game asked, why was he called Rain Man? In the movie, it's revealed that Tom Cruise's character could faintly remember a, quote, Rain Man in his life when he was really young. And he discovers it was Hoffman's character all along. As a young child, he pronounced Raymond as, quote, Rain Man. I think the derogatory nature of this name comes from people using this movie's title to label autistic people. So the movie really shouldn't be called Rain Man. It should be called Raymond. And everybody who's named Raymond should be associated with autistic people in a derogatory way.
Should be?
Should be.
Okay.
According to this logic.
Yeah.
Right?
If Tom Cruise's character as a child had better enunciation, this movie would be called Raymond.
Yep. Have you ever seen Rain Man?
Yeah.
How much of it do you remember? Because I
only remember the toothpicks.
literally zero.
Do you remember the toothpicks?
I don't. Like, he looked at the toothpicks and could tell how many there were,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember that moment because people mention it, not because I actually remember it with my eyeballs.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Sure. No, and I don't remember anything else. I think, do they go to the casinos or something?
Sounds like something you'd do in that movie.
Yeah.
Does he help him in the love department? Does Tom Cruise help Dustin Hoffman's character?
I don't know.
I feel like that's got the kind of thing that would have been in that movie in the 80s.
I feel like Tom Cruise would have the love interest in that movie, and Raymond helps him with the.
No, I think it comes easy to the Tom Cruise character, and he's helping the guy who doesn't come easy to.
Maybe.
Yeah. I vaguely feel like that's part of the movie.
Yeah.
That's probably also problematic, I imagine. Troy also included his latest top 10, last 10, but he asked a question before that. He asked Zach and James, so me and you specifically. It's a good thing Kyle's not here because we don't want his opinion on this anyway.
No. Well, it was unasked for.
Right. Excuse me. Zach and James, have you considered doing a trade? Like, you go with last 10, top 10 if Zach makes a switch to Wikipedia, or vice versa. So you and I famously have taken sides on Wikipedia versus IMDb.
Yep.
I like Wikipedia.
You do.
And
I like IMDb
over Wikipedia.
For my movie details, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. If I want to learn about something else,
Insanity.
Insanity. Wild.
I mean, if you want a bunch of random quotes that nobody would ever consider a quote from the movie, then sure,
no.
IMDb is the best.
No. I just want a filmography, and I don't want to have to type the word filmography.
I want a filmography without having to eliminate all the TV shows and YouTube videos that are on IMDb.
Some actors are in TV, James. You can't hide that fact.
It's fine. Just get him out of the films. It's the Internet Movie Database, meaning movies first, TV second, not together. Anyway, for some reason, Troy here is conflating that issue with the last 10 top 10 / top 10 last 10 issue that we've gone over. I don't think we need to go over it.
We don't need to go over that.
The big question is, would you make a trade if, what is he even asking here?
He's saying
you use Wikipedia if I start using your terminology for top 10, last 10?
Yeah, like a little compromise.
Do you use Wikipedia though?
I do use Wikipedia.
Yeah.
And you secretly off air prefer my
for IMDb? That's not true.
Top 10 last 10.
No, I don't.
You off air you do. On air you kind of drum up controversy.
No.
As soon as we check off, you're like, you're right, Zach.
There are better things to drum up controversy about. Certainly I wouldn't milk that one till the end. I don't think so. I don't think I can bring myself to say top 10.
You dug in?
Yeah. Or last 10, top 10. That just feels dirty. I might have to take a shower if I was to start doing that on the regular basis.
You probably should take showers, James. I just as a separate thing, I wonder. How about this?
Honestly,
will you start taking showers if I switch to Wikipedia?
No. Even worse than saying last 10, top 10 would be to use IMDb. There's not a chance you'll ever get me to do that because IMDb, it might as well just be one big Amazon ad at this point. It's so brutal.
I don't see a single Amazon ad.
Because you have ad blocker on.
Yes, which you should, I don't know, turn on.
I do have it on. It's the what's the word? The point of the matter. It's the principle. That's what I'm looking for.
Oh.
I don't mind ads. I don't like ads where literally they took the entire background and made it one big ad. And IMDb does that constantly.
I wouldn't know.
Well, everybody else has to suffer. Troy also sent a top 10 last 10. Here we go. His number 10, After Sun, which is a movie I also saw.
People like that movie.
People do like that movie, but I don't.
Okay. I haven't seen it.
Neither does Troy.
I suspect I'll like it.
I think this could be a movie you like. It's a very Jerry movie, I would say.
Sweet.
But I like Jerry, and I did not like After Sun.
Okay.
So there you go. His number 9, Tar. Don't agree with him on that one.
Does he know that the conducting was real?
I don't think he knew that. So he might want to reevaluate his 2.5 stars
on
Tar. He asks James, you especially always say punctuations with titles, which gets funny at times. Do you do anything with saying this movie's name? Because they have the little accent over the R or over the A rather. No, I didn't.
Why not?
Because is that a punctuation thing? Or is there's another term for that, right?
Well, it's an accent mark.
Right.
It's a character.
Sure. But like when I say tar, I don't say T umlauted A R. It's just another letter, just in a different language.
It's a diacritic glyph.
Right. I don't acknowledge diacritic glyphs.
You do acknowledge diacritic
When?
glyphs.
I've said the word tar on this podcast in the last 6 months, probably 100 times.
Yeah.
How many times have I recognized the diacritic glyph?
Never. But I think it's because you're being inconsistent.
No, it's not punctuation. I only point out punctuation.
Can I tell you another diacritic
I don't
glyph?
point out capitalization, only punctuation.
Can I tell you another diacritic glyph?
Sure.
Open parentheses.
I don't refer to those.
You do. You
When?
absolutely. What?
On what movie?
Open parentheses, close parentheses. You absolutely
On
say
what
those.
movie?
What is a movie that has open parentheses? Close
Exactly.
parentheses? Some do.
What
I don't
movie?
know what. I don't know what. Some do.
I've never.
You don't think there's a
Never.
movie that has an open parentheses?
In 570 episodes, I have never acknowledged an open parentheses in a movie title.
That's garbage.
Show me.
I don't know.
Well,
James.
the burden of proof is on you.
It absolutely is on me. I will give you that. Okay. I will give you that. But
Never.
I know James fairly well.
The only movie I think possibly that I can think of that has an open parentheses is 500 Days of Summer.
Yeah.
And good luck finding me saying it. Open parentheses, close parentheses.
You think you don't?
Guaranteed I've never said that.
Guaranteed you've never said it?
Guaranteed.
Wow. All right. Well,
I can't think of another movie that has that.
I can't either.
Um,
It's hard to Google. Also, that's not a diacritic.
Oh, how dare you? His number 8, Gosford Park.
I like that movie.
I watched it recently because of the Downtown Abbey. Downtown Abbey.
Downtown Abbey.
Downtown Abbey. Downton Abbey connection, which is why Troy watched it, and he didn't like it either. Well, 3 stars. One Child Nation. You saw this, right?
No.
No?
I don't know what this is.
This is the documentary about, I think in China, they only allowed people to have one child for a while.
No, the best I've done is I listened to a interview with the director.
Gotcha. I don't think I watched the documentary, but I know about it.
Okay.
He writes a solid documentary with a subject that seems important, and you learn a lot from it. All right, fair enough. Missing from 2022. My son and I went to this because he wanted to watch it. I wasn't sure I was up for essentially a second Searching. This is the sequel to Searching from 2018, but I was pleasantly surprised. Great movie. I'm going to disagree.
You don't think that he was pleasantly surprised?
I do think he was pleasantly surprised and that he thought it was a great movie. I'm going to disagree that it was a great movie.
Wow. Okay. All right.
It's a perfectly
fine.
fine movie.
Totally fine.
Missing is fun.
Great.
Sorry. Searching is fun.
Which one?
Searching from 2018. Missing is unnecessary, in my opinion.
Okay.
His number 5, The Whale. He loved it. He gave it a 4. His number 4, Avatar: Way of Water. He calls it superior filmmaking. These movies really need to be seen on the big screen. Maybe I was in the wrong mood for it. 4 stars. Sounds like the right mood. If
Yeah.
we gave it 4
that's a
stars.
Good mood.
Descendant from 2022. Haven't seen it. It's a documentary. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Me neither. Not Oscar nominated, thus don't care.
Okay.
It's number 2, Women Talking. A movie I really want to see.
Okay.
Where's Women Talking? I mean, beyond outside these doors, but where is the movie Women Talking?
Well, like, where could you see women talking?
Yeah.
besides outside these doors.
Right.
Um,
I don't think it's anywhere.
I don't know how she saw women talking. A streaming guide to watch Sarah Polly's Women Talking. Let's see. Paragraphs of Fluff.
It's not
Paragraphs
out
of
there.
Fluff. It's still in theaters.
Not in Orlando.
It should become available to rent soon.
Soon. I mean, they better get out there if they want to win.
This article says soon enough. So this article knows nothing.
Oh, it is here. It's at Altamont.
Okay, go see it.
One showing at 4:30.
Well,
4:30.
easy.
Some of us have to work.
At 4:30, you're not doing work.
At 4:30, I am wrapping up my work. His favorite movie of the last 10 that he watched was Fall.
Hey,
You love that movie.
I do really like that movie.
Yeah. Says I listened to the podcast episode after watching it. Liked it quite a bit. Had to watch it in spurts. Evidently wasn't riveting enough.
No, he's scared of heights.
Oh, right. I found I had to do it with the heights. That's crazy. I don't like heights either, but there's not a single movie I've seen where I was like, oh, this is making me scared because of all
Really?
the heights.
Really?
No.
What about YouTube films?
YouTube films?
You never seen a YouTube film that?
Where I was scared of heights?
Yeah,
No. I've
You
seen
never-
people climb cranes without ropes and
yeah,
stuff.
that never gets you
Why would it get me? First of all,
because you're scared of heights.
if somebody was going to fall off a crane that's on top of a high rise,
Yeah,
the film wouldn't exist anymore
why not?
because they'd fall to their death and whatever was filming it would be obliterated.
Maybe.
And alternately, even if it did survive, who's putting it on
A
YouTube?
lot of people do that.
No, they don't.
People do that.
You think somebody falls like 50 stories to the concrete, explodes on impact, both themselves and whatever films it. By some chance, the film exists, right? And then whoever takes possession of that film then puts it on YouTube, creates a snappy thumbnail, and posts it to the same guy's YouTube account.
Two things. Number one, I've seen videos where someone is filming out of a plane and then oops, my camera fell out of the plane.
And the film survived.
Film survived.
I agree.
So that's point number one. Point number two, some of these people live stream. They live stream their feats.
Oh, so you think people who have fallen during a live stream, YouTube just leaves the live stream up
They're not live streaming
and
on
creates
YouTube.
a thumbnail for
They're
it?
not live streaming on YouTube. You're obsessed with the thumbnail. I know you're really focused on the
I'm
thumbnail.
just saying. When I click on a video and somebody's doing something dangerous, I know, I'm fairly certain I'm not going to watch somebody fall to their death.
Okay, so do you think if I gave you 20 minutes and incentive,
Uh-huh.
could you find a video of someone doing this dangerous activity and falling to their death?
On YouTube?
No, on the internet.
On the internet, sure, but not
Yeah.
on YouTube. I'm sure on like rotten.com or whatever those websites are these days. That's what it used to be back when I was in high school. But did you ever look at rotten.com?
No.
You're lucky.
No. What there's
Scar you for
some
life.
site, it's like 2 syllables, which is like they always have like fights at schools. And
There used to be one called like Live Nation.
I think this is the one,
live
something like that.
live feed.
Yeah.
They shut down.
That's probably for the best.
Too many lawsuits.
Anyways, I am not scared of heights, but I've seen some videos where people are high up and I was like, that's a little scary.
But did you get that feeling when you were watching Fall?
No.
Right. Because the movie's barely even about the heights.
Well, it's very much about the heights.
It's about the heights in that they're up high and they don't want to fall. They don't want to.
Yeah, it's the entire
They
plot.
can't get
the
down.
plot of the film. Yes.
But it's not about being afraid of the height.
They're not afraid of the height,
Right.
but we as the viewer are more afraid than they are.
I'm afraid that they're going to fall, not that I'm getting a sense that my own fear of falling has kicked in.
But you know, when you watch a movie and like inevitably you have the thought, what if I was sucked into this film? Like Stay Tuned style. This would not be a movie you'd want to
Stay
get.
tuned stuff.
You remember the movie Stay Tuned?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
It's just a very specific reference.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that reference lost on you?
No,
Okay,
I
well, great.
obviously understood it. I'm just curious to know how many other people understood it.
I hate the movie Stay Tuned. It's so dark.
It's a very dark comedy. I'm
Yeah.
surprised you've even seen it.
Yeah, I saw it as a kid too.
It's a
I
very
I
Burton-esque
was probably
movie.
10.
Yeah.
I think it scarred me.
It's got John Ritter in it.
Yes. And who's the guy that I don't like with like the orange hair?
Ed something.
I don't like him.
He's from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Too.
Yes,
he was the principal.
Mhm.
Thank you for the email, Troy. We've got another email here that Zach's going to read from somebody else.
Are you all done with your stuff?
I'm all done. These are his Oscar predictions.
Okay. I couldn't tell because there was no ruffling
Which we
of
got.
paper.
Thank you, Troy. Oh, right. There you go.
Could even make it on camera.
It didn't hit the camera?
No. All right. This next one is from Stan in Romania. Hey guys. Besides being movie lovers, I think it's safe to say that we are all Letterboxd lovers as well.
Hold on, before you keep going, whenever anybody says the name Stan, what do you think of?
The Eminem.
Absolutely. I gotta know from Stan, is that annoying?
Is he a Stan?
Well, I mean, I'm sure he likes the song, but is it annoying to share a name with like a famous fictional
Stalker?
Yeah.
Do you know what I wonder? I feel so bad for anyone named Alexa or Karen
or Siri.
What? There's a lot fewer Siris than
I'm sure there's a couple.
Well, sure, but I don't actively feel bad for them.
You
I don't
should-
think
you
about
really
that. I don't
should.
consider them. But people named Karen,
Very insensitive.
I feel bad for Karens.
I know. I have a client who's named Karen, and it's kind of hard whenever I hear the name out loud to not start thinking about Karen compilation videos on YouTube.
Sure.
And she's really sweet and not like that at all. So it's like, that's the one Karen I know, though. Do you know any Karen?
I do know a Karen, yeah.
And is she
No, she's not a Karen.
right? Should we change the name?
No.
If it wasn't Karen, what would it be?
Because then we have to pull some other name down with it. Like Karen will stick and then another name as well.
I wonder if because Karen, being called a Karen that's like within the last 5 years, right? Or so that popularized.
Ish, yeah, I don't know.
I wonder if the number of baby names
for
named
sure.
Karen has like dropped to the floor. at this point.
Absolutely. Yes.
You think the name is
I
random?
think baby names are the most reactive thing that we have to the news.
Mhm.
Like nothing else is influenced as much by like popular culture as baby names.
What about Kevin? Because that's like people refer to male Karens as Kevin.
I didn't even know that, so I don't think that's
well,
made a dent.
I'm pretty deep in the Karen Kevin
Apparently
community.
you are. I did not know that. I know Chad.
Chad is different, but it's also a negative thing.
Yeah.
I believe Chad is like somebody who's confidently wrong about everything.
Okay. I don't know. I thought a Chad is just like I don't know what a Chad is.
A Kevin is a guy who acts like a Karen. A Chad is just somebody who's way overconfident about everything.
I don't think we need Kevin as a term because men can be Karens.
They absolutely can be Karens, but we probably shouldn't use the word Karen. I don't like calling people
Have you seen the
Karens.
videos where Karens are like complaining?
Yeah.
Yeah. Stan continues.
Okay.
I like the song Stan, by the way.
Me too. Dido.
Yeah, I like the Dido song quite a bit.
There's a good YouTube performance from like 2000.
Do they go together? They
yeah,
perform
they're
together?
playing on stage together.
Fantastic.
From like Sweden or wherever she's from.
Fantastic. I would guess that Romania has a pretty cool music scene.
Let's talk about it more instead of reading the email.
But sometimes we come across a use case that is not implemented, he continues. A recent discussion on the show about keeping a healthy watch list reminded me of a feature I wish Letterboxd had. It would be nice if you could add notes to watch list entries. That way, you will avoid forgetting what made you add the movie, and it will lower its chances of being discarded because you can't remember why you put it there in the first place. It's happened to all of us. First of all, I don't discard a movie that I no longer know why it's on my watch list. I don't discard. I just ignore it.
You just leave it there.
Yeah. That's why my watch list is
for eternity, never to actually watch it.
That's why my watch list is completely untenable at this point. Yeah.
Sure.
Why?
Why do you leave it there? Why not prune it
Because
down?
at some point there was a reason I put it there, so I just trust my past self.
Sure.
I have a lot of trust in my past self.
Enough to never watch the movie that you
No,
add to
maybe
your
I
watch
will.
list?
Maybe I will.
I mean, the chances are good you're not going to.
Yes. I love this idea. First of all,
Okay.
I absolutely
I absolutely love
want
that
this
idea too.
for sure.
100%.
And how about a watched list with movies automatically transferred from your watch list once you watch them with notes intact?
That's another thing. It's not on my list, but it's a pet peeve. Is like you have a movie on your watch list, you watch it, it doesn't remove it from your watch list.
Yeah.
Why not?
I think the thinking is it's like we don't want to. You intentionally added it to a list. We don't want to behind the scenes remove it from your list without telling you about it.
Well, then when I add it as a diary entry, pop up something that says, "Hey, this movie was on your watch list. Would you like to remove it?"
That would be fantastic. Because every now and then I'll search my watch list for movies that I've watched, and there are movies that I've watched.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what are we doing here, guys?
It's dumb.
Stan continues, can you think of other features you wish Letterboxd had? Well, Stan, we can.
I think this might be the first time we've done a
Flinched.
list based on an email.
I don't know.
I'm sure other people have suggested lists that we did. That's probably wrong. But yeah, we were inspired by Stan, not the guy from the song, but Stan, the guy who wrote us an email.
Stan, Romania.
Right. We were inspired to make a list because we like Letterboxd and we also think it's missing features. So we made a list of our top 10 Letterboxd, top 10 most wanted Letterboxd features.
Yes. I have 16.
Before we jump into it, what do you like about Letterboxd?
A couple things I like about Letterboxd.
Okay.
I like the UI. I think it's clean.
Yeah.
It's attractive. It makes movies look exciting. Having all the posters on there,
Sure.
getting to see those posters looks great.
It looks like an actual designer worked on the page as
Yes.
opposed to like a programmer.
Yeah.
Like look at Wikipedia or you look at IMDb or even like I Check Movies. It looks like somebody who knew how to code did their best to kind of organize the information. Whereas with Letterboxd,
It's pretty.
it's pretty. And somehow they picked the colors that make the content the feature. If that makes sense. It's not stark white.
Mm-hmm.
It's got kind of like that blues and grays, and it seems to match any other visual that's against it.
It works
And
really well.
That's a hard balance to hit.
Yeah, it works really well
Graphically.
So I love the look of it. By and large, I think it's really usable.
I think for the most part it's usable, but I think it's missing some pretty obvious things that would make it more useful.
Sure.
But we'll get into that in our top 10 wanted features. Yeah. I like the site in general. The only criticism I have other than our top 10 list this week would be that they need to hire people to make it develop faster. Like they only recently got apps relative to how often most websites got apps. And it feels like one of their more recent features was replace movie posters for yourself. So like you don't like the Citizen Kane poster, you can upload any image you want to represent Citizen Kane.
Awesome.
For you and you alone.
Love it.
So like they're doing that and not doing one of the 16 things you want.
Yeah.
And I can imagine that one of the 16 things you want would be an actual user experience improvement compared to people wanting to change the posters of movies. I'm not saying don't do the poster thing. It just feels like the priorities are out of whack.
Yeah.
When like clear, obvious, broader things need to be done. And meanwhile, we're letting people replace the posters. Anyway, Let's get into it.
Are we gonna jump back and forth, or do you just want to do yours and I'll do mine?
Let's jump back and forth.
Okay.
You
'Cause I
have
have
16,
yeah.
so why don't you just do 2 at a time until we're down to 10?
Okay, I'll give you that. Also, I have to warn you, mine are not in any order.
You didn't rank them?
Well,
What are we even doing here?
they're ranked by the order I thought of them.
But not the order in which you think they're important.
Because I feel passionately about all these games.
On the same level? I can't wait to hear all 16. I guarantee you there's some that you should not be more passionate about.
All right, I'll go first.
Okay.
Here's 2 of mine. 1, I wish you could mark a movie as did not finish.
Oh, interesting.
So
see, I never not finish movies,
right?
So I would never even think of that.
Yeah, but for instance,
so
Kyle,
like have a list of movies that you know you started.
Yes.
You're saying you watched it, but not the whole thing.
Yes. So for me, there are several films which I've started, had to stop for whatever reason, and mean to get back to, right? I would like to keep track of those films. If I can mark it as did not finish, or a different person could say, like, I watched 45 minutes of this, hated it, didn't finish, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like
so it's not a full review or a full entry, but there's still a record that you touched this movie in one way, shape, or form.
Yes. Goodreads is the most popular. It's like the Letterboxd for books, and they have a do not finished.
Oh,
because some people start a book and they're like, I'm not going to waste the next, week of my life finishing this awful book. Did not finish.
Sure. It feels like more people wouldn't finish a book than wouldn't finish a movie.
It's possible, but there's some films I haven't finished.
Sure.
Next one, a not interested or hide.
Like you never want to see this again.
Yeah. If the movie comes up and it's like, I'm just totally not interested in this movie. And there's movies, right, that you're like, I'm never going to be interested in this movie. Just stop popping up. I don't show it to me over and over and all these things. Just I don't care. I don't want to see it again.
But like, let's say it's a Reese Witherspoon movie.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't care about this movie. Don't never want to see it again. And then like later on, you go to Reese Witherspoon's page and you want to see how many movies you've seen compared to how many movies you haven't. Yeah. Should it be included on that page, or you just don't want to see it?
Yes, it should.
Okay.
Yes, this would
so
be
it's
on
not like never show it to me. It's like never show it to me in my feed.
In my feed, don't show it to me.
Lists?
I don't know about lists.
Like, what if I made a list of Reese Witherspoon movies and one of those was a movie you told to ignore? Would it just be like a blank tile?
No. How about this? It shows up in lists. Shows up in like all that kind of stuff. It's just if a friend sees it, don't show it to me. I don't care.
So don't let you know that I watched the movie that you don't care about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Stop reminding me about this movie.
I don't like that feature. I mean,
you could click.
It's really not that big of a deal. What movie motivated this feature that you're seeing? Like when people were like memeing Morbius, it was kind of annoying to go to Letterboxd because Morbius was like all over the place.
Yeah.
That was annoying, but it was fleeting. Went away.
Yeah. Well, not fast enough.
What movie is it that you're like so annoyed with? It has to go away.
Any of the Transylvania movies.
Or like movies?
The Madagascar movies.
What do you have against them?
I just don't care. I don't care at all. I literally I wouldn't mind one iota if I never heard about another Transylvania movie ever again. If it disappeared from my life.
I can't speak to the Transylvania movies, but the Madagascar movies are fun.
Sure. I don't care. Do you care?
How much
care? Do you care?
I don't care a whole lot, but I'm also not annoyed enough to.
I'm not annoyed.
Ask Letterboxd to make a feature, so I never have to see the movie Madagascar pop up in front of me again.
No, it's not Madagascar I'm worried about. Okay,
I'm just saying,
because Madagascar does not pop up. It's Madagascar 12 that pops up.
I think there was only 5.
Well,
maybe 4. I don't remember.
Okay, what do you got?
All right. My number 10, because mine are ranked based on how much I think they should implement them.
Wise.
Yes. My number 10 is more user chosen favorites for profiles. Meaning like right now you can pick your you can pick your favorite 4 movies.
Yeah.
First of all, there should be 5 movies, right?
Why?
Because nobody does a top 4. What is this? MySpace top 8, top 4, just random? No, it should be 5 or 10. That's how people top.
Oh, 10's too many.
I'm saying don't do 10, but at least do 5. When people do top lists, Nobody does top 4.
Mount Rushmore.
Is that a list? I don't think Mount Rushmore is a list.
No, but this is your
It's a carving in the side of a mountain.
This is your Mount Rushmore of Letterboxd, right? Your Mount Rushmore films.
They're from New Zealand.
Who
they don't
are?
care. The people who make Letterboxd, they're a New Zealand-based business, so they don't care about Mount Rushmore. It has nothing to do with Mount Rushmore.
No. I do think that people in New Zealand tend to care about Mount Rushmore.
Based on what?
What do you mean based on what? It's a world landmark.
You think people
do you care
in
about
New
the Eiffel
Zealand
Tower?
Give 1 second thought to Mount Rushmore? We here in the United States barely give a second thought to Mount. Have you ever been to Mount Rushmore?
Yeah,
I haven't.
Well,
I could give a crap about Mount Rushmore.
Well, you're not from New Zealand, so you don't understand their love.
They don't care about.
No,
Mount
people in New
Rushmore.
Zealand. If you're from New Zealand, if you're a Kiwi, if you like Vegemite, I want you to write in.
They have to be all those things.
No, I don't know. I don't remember if Vegemite is Australia or.
I think it's Australia.
Well, I apologize for offending you. Do you care 1 iota about Mount Rushmore?
I don't think they do.
Prepare for a flood of emails.
Anyway, that's first of all should be a top 5. I think is what I'm saying. But that's not even the point.
That's
of my
not
number
even
10.
on your.
That's not even the point of my number 10.
This is the one you feel the least passionate about.
More, yes. This is gonna be a long episode. More user chosen favorites. Like on your profile, you should be able to put your favorite directors or your favorite actors. Make it like a better representation of like you as a film.
And would it
fan.
just be a photo of them?
Yeah, just like a little circle.
Okay.
Let you pick like 1.
Yeah.
And then maybe you click that and it goes to a new page where it shows all your favorite directors by watch. So you can self-pick the one.
Okay.
But now you have this other page that says like, oh, James watched all the Spielberg movies and all the, these are the most watched.
Ooh, I'm adding 17. Okay. Done.
Also, it would be cool since you can put your 4 favorite movies, which should be 5, but 4 favorite movies, you should have another spot that does your 4 favorite lists. Because right now it just shows your 4 most recent lists. I don't want my most recent lists. I want the 4 lists that I want my users who are visiting my profile to see. Because maybe I have a really cool list that took forever to make, like that dumb, what's his name? The movie reviewer who died.
Wow. Ebert?
Ebert. My Roger Ebert list that took literally months to put together that everybody loved is now buried because I did it 8 years ago.
It is odd that it's your most recent, not your like pinned.
Yeah. You should be able to pin 1 at least, if not 4 of them like you do with your movies. So yeah, my number 10, more of those kinds of features, user selected features that makes their profile more personal to them.
Okay. My number 3.
Okay.
I'm also counting up apparently. Similar films.
Okay.
So I
think that's not on my list, but I agree.
Yeah. I there's a website that I go and look at movies all the time.
IMDb?
No. And it has
what is this mystery?
It's a mystery site. And anytime you go to the site, I have an add-on to the site, like a Chrome plugin or whatever they call them, that adds a bar on the right that says similar films. And it lists like 100 similar films by how similar they are. And the list is amazing.
Okay.
It's an incredible concoction of similar films.
What's the name of the toolbar?
What's that?
What's the name of the toolbar?
Don't remember.
You're not going to share it for people who are listening?
Hey, I'm not one to gatekeep. So so basically, but apparently I do. And I was like, why can't Letterboxd do this, right?
Yeah.
If I go to film, I want to see what are similar films.
Right.
That'd be awesome.
Makes sense to me. I don't know why they don't have that.
Similar films would be great. Okay, number 4. Watch list notes. That's Stan's idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. My number 9, again, mine are ranked. Non-diary news/blog posts. Why can't I do that?
Like a blog. Well, you can if you're like, can't you like sign up to be a super account and do those things?
But it should be open to all users.
All right.
The problem now is if I want to have a discussion about a film related thing, I have to like post a review and then pose the question in the review.
Yeah.
Right. There's no way for me to just like be like, oh, these are the types of movies I've been watching this week, and it's been a good time, and blah blah blah. I
Yeah.
can't like just naturally like blog. I can't.
Throw a poll up or something. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Instead, movie filmdom is like fractured across Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that. If you could do all that crap on Letterboxd, I think people would stay on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Or you could be like, here's a movie that I didn't just watch, but I really love, and I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Here's a post about it.
Yeah.
Right now, you have to rewatch it or lie about rewatching it in order to get it in other people's feed.
It's true.
So it limits the amount of discussion on the website.
Great
It
idea.
absolutely should be there. Also, you should be able to take somebody else's really good review and post it as your own with credit to them. Where it's like, I saw this movie. I feel exactly like this review. And so as my diary entry, I'm referencing their review.
Okay. As long as I can turn these things off, I'm fine with that.
Why would you want to turn it off?
If
I read a good review and I wanted to share it with
that's
you.
fine. If someone's posting a lot of like just blog entries, every now and then I'm going to want to turn that off.
Sure. You should be able to mute people
Yeah.
and things like that. Just stop. Don't follow them if you never want to see it.
Which brings me to mine.
Okay.
Super friends.
Super.
I want
so
super
another
friends.
level.
Another level of friends. So how many friends do you have on Letterboxd?
Depends on what you mean by friends.
How many friends on Letterboxd?
How many people have I duped into
Yeah.
following me?
Yeah.
Let's see. I have 9,402 followers.
So here's what so that means 9,000 people that show up in your feed.
Sure.
That
my feed's pretty useless.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Super friends means, okay, of my 9,000 followers, these 16 I actually want to be notified about. I want to care about. I want to follow what they're posting.
Sure.
I want to know what they think. Those 16 are more important to me than
you
my
want a
9,000.
special feed for the important people.
Yes. Super friends.
Gotcha.
What do you think?
I'm all for it. Absolutely.
Next idea. Account to account comparisons.
100%.
So right now, if like we're gonna play some game where I need to compare my movies to Kyle's movies,
Mhm.
I have to download all my movies into a spreadsheet. He has to download all his. I pull them together. I do Excel things, and then I can compare them.
Sure.
I want to be able to compare them on the site. Just say
Mhm.
like this person. What movies do we agree on? Which ones do we disagree on? Which ones have I seen that he hasn't? He's seen that I haven't. I would love that. Love it.
100% agree. My number 8, infinite activity feed scroll on desktop.
Okay.
So right now on the app, at least on Android, I'm assuming on the iPhone as well, when you pull up the activity feed, what does it do? Here we go. I'm pulling it up right now. This is the activity feed. So you're at the activity feed, right? And you scroll up, and then when it hits the bottom, it gives you a little.
So it is infinite.
It just loads more. Why doesn't the freaking website do that? Go to the activity feed on the website and scroll down. It makes you click a button that says load more.
Interesting.
Can't you just detect the bottom of the screen and give me more?
Interesting.
Tumblr was doing that a decade ago. Twitter, Facebook, all of them do it.
They all do it.
Letterboxd doesn't do it.
Doesn't do it.
They do it on the app, not on the website.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
That was my number 8.
All right. My number 7, I don't feel that strongly about.
Well, you're not following 8,000 people. When I need to see what those 8,000 people are posting, I got to scroll down a lot.
My number 7, 0 stars.
You want to be able to give movies 0 stars.
0 stars. Here's the thing.
I mean, you could just not give it stars and assume that's a 0 star.
That's not what that means, though. Okay. But giving a movie, the lowest you can give it on Letterboxd is half a star, right?
Mhm.
That means it's worth half of whatever a star is, right?
Sure.
What if it's not worth that?
It's literally worth nothing, is
Yeah.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like the people who got up at 5 a.m. and schlepped the lights in.
Yes, they should
It's
not.
not
have
even
done
worth
that.
half
They
a star
shouldn't
for
have done that.
them.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Half a star. 0 stars.
You think 0?
Yeah. I would use it rarely, but
I'm not against 0 stars. What would it just have like a little 0 emoji instead of a star emoji, or what's the
an outline. An outline of the
Oh, an empty star.
yeah. Because
Yeah.
here's the thing: you can max out the stars. Why can't you, empty it out?
I do not feel passionate about that, but I'm not against it.
Yeah.
If they made that change, I would not be against it.
Okay.
Because it wouldn't really change anything for me.
No, because you.
But it would make you happy, so I'm fine with that.
Thank you. Okay. If you go to your like account stats or whatever, it'll show you your favorite actors by
Mhm.
like how much you've watched them,
Which seems weird.
favorite directors,
Why do they call it favorite? Do they actually call it favorite, or do they call it most watched?
probably most watched. They're probably decent about
Because that doesn't mean it's your favorite.
No, absolutely not.
Like Samuel L. Jackson would be everybody's favorite if that's true.
He is everybody's.
No, he's not.
No, but on Letterboxd, he's like everyone's most watched actor, right?
Right.
What do they call it? They call it doot. They call it won't load. No, they call it directors most. You can do most watched and highest rated.
Gotcha.
Most watched and highest rated. Okay. They give you stars and directors. Okay. I want more.
You can get more. It'll give you like cinematography. You can do best boy if you wanted.
Okay. Literally, what I have it written is favorite cinematographers, best boys, etc.
Yeah, if you scroll down on your year
Yeah.
review,
What do you mean? Okay.
year in review, scroll down to the bottom. There's a section that's like you can pick by.
I have to go to my year in review.
Yeah, I mean they definitely have hidden this.
How do I even get to my year in review?
From your, are you a pro?
I was at one point. Am I still a pro?
I don't know. Do
I
you have
don't
a
know.
little pro next to your name in orange?
On the front page?
Yeah, on your
No.
profile.
I don't.
Then I guess you're not a pro anymore.
Used to be
Why
a
aren't
pro.
you a pro?
Well, I don't know.
Well, if you were a pro, you'd get stats.
Okay.
And then with your stats,
No, I'm a pro,
oh, you are a pro.
but it says no. It doesn't say pro. Okay, so you go to my stats. How do I see my year in review?
On your profile.
I see it. Okay, 2002.
Click that, scroll down. There's a section that's like right underneath stars. Then you got crew and studios.
Yeah, I
See the
that.
see more button?
Yeah. Okay, this is what I want.
Yeah. From there, you can click and it'll show you which movies. I guess it won't show you more about them, but it'll give you studios. Like it's telling me that I watched 4 A24 movies last year. Whoop-de-doo.
Whoop-de-doo.
I watched 2 movies with makeup by Diana Forte. What movies do you think they were?
With makeup by Diana Forte.
Yeah.
One
One of these movies you've seen.
Avatar.
No. The Menu.
Okay.
She also did Devotion, which is that movie about the first Black Air Force pilot.
Okay. Nice. All right. So I've already gotten one of mine. They're very responsive.
Kind of. It's not a great
Nah,
feature. And they kind of hit it in that,
and it's only
in that section.
for that year. It's not overall, right? It's just that year.
Well, you can go back by years.
Right. Of that year and of that year and of that year. But you can't do an overall of all the films I've seen.
No.
What's the
by
best?
year?
Best.
Yeah. You're right. You can't do it overall. My number 7 is specific user. So user by user, mobile and email notifications. This is kind of like your super friends, where it's like, I like following Zach on Letterboxd, letterboxd.com/Shaubin. And every time Zach posts a review, I want a notification on my phone.
Yeah.
Can't do it. Why not? Like every other social media network, you click the bell, you click the little notify, you get notified. Why can't you do that on Letterboxd?
Yeah.
Right now, if somebody follows me or likes one of my reviews, that's the only thing my app will notify me about. It won't notify me, like only when people are interacting with my content will it notify me. It won't notify me when other users are doing things with their content.
Wouldn't that increase their engagement?
Absolutely. Yeah. They should 100% be doing this.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're doing it. Bonus, let me set the threshold for when to notify me. So if you're going to leave a 3.5 review for some movie that I don't give a crap about, I don't want to hear about it. But the moment you post a 5-star review or a 4.5
You
star,
care.
notify me on that.
You
crap.
suddenly care.
Right. So they should give me notifications at minimum. And if they really want to be cool about it, give me a threshold for when to be notified. Like I want to be notified when you give something 1.5 or 4.5 and above.
Yeah.
But not in the middle.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Love it. It's like my super friends.
Similar.
Okay.
And also send me an email if I want it.
All right. Let's say I've watched a movie and I know I watched it like a month ago.
Mhm.
Okay. But I was lazy. I didn't log it.
Okay.
But I knew I watched it a month ago.
Mhm.
I want it included in my 2023 films. Right? Obviously, because I watched it a month ago.
Sure.
But I don't remember what day I watched it.
Right.
When I log it, I have to put a day that I watched it. Otherwise, it's not going to be included in my 2023 films. It'll just have it rated,
Right.
but it's not going to be a movie that I watched this year. So I have to just lie and say I watched it on the 14th.
Mhm.
I want to be able to say when I log a movie, when did I watch this? I don't know, but I watched it this year. That's all I want.
So you want to not have to lie to yourself.
Yeah, because later in the stats, at the end of the year, it'll tell me you watch the most movies on Fridays or, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that means nothing because sometimes I just have to pick a random day about when it came out. Occasionally, it's probably before it even came out in the theater, because I'm just guessing the wrong day. I just want to be able to click. I watched it. I watched it this year. Put it in the 2023s, but I don't know what
attach
day.
it to a day.
I don't know what day.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know why you can't do that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But do you ever have to like just put a random day because you don't know what day you watched it when you log a movie?
I'm sure I've done that where I've never picked a random day, but I've tried to guess what day.
Yeah.
Sure. But I also don't care that much.
But you're right. Yeah.
Like if I got a day wrong here or there, who cares?
Sure.
But if it bothers you, I'm fine with them implementing that.
I just want a
feature.
reliable
Makes sense
record.
to me.
Yeah.
Sure. Makes sense to me.
Also, I'm still doing 2 at once.
Okay.
For fun. This one's more a me thing. This is more just I'm not as smart as I should be.
Mm-hmm.
More clarity about the difference between diary and rating and watched. So once in a blue moon,
Mm-hmm.
I will think that I logged a movie correctly, but it'll show up that I watched it, but I've never rated it, or I've rated it and it's not in my diary, or I just get confused sometimes.
I mean, if you never add text, then it will never be in your diary. No, it'll be in your diary. If you added a date to it, it'll be in your diary. If you didn't add a date to it, it'll just be watched.
Yes. I think there's movies that I've had that are marked as watched but not rated. There's movies that I have that are rated and watched but not in the diary. And it's just like somehow I'm messing this up occasionally.
I think the only difference is the date.
Yeah.
Like if you don't put a date, even if you put stars, it's going to throw it in watched and not in your diary. I'm pretty sure.
Like let's say I'm gonna add a movie right now. Okay, it says log a movie. Let's log what's the movie I haven't seen? After Sun. Okay, I'm gonna log After Sun. Yeah, if I don't pick a date, it's just gonna. I don't know. Sometimes I get confused. If I want to see like if I've seen a movie,
Mm-hmm.
I always have to think like, should I go to the diary or should I go to the watched? What do I go to?
Mhm.
I just want a little bit more clarity for us dummies.
Sure. I hear you. It never confused me, but I admit that it could be confusing to some people. I'm fine with that. Especially new people. I could see how it would be confusing to new people or people who have been using it for a decade like you. My number 6, ratings within a list. Okay. So like right now, let's say you made a list.
Okay,
I go to that list.
Yes.
I look at the list based on how you ordered them, and it shows like 5 stars next to, all the movies that you've given a rating to. Okay. But what it's not showing me or making explicit is that those are the ratings you gave the movie. not the ones I gave the movie. So why wouldn't it show movies that I've seen and show me my rating against your list? Because now, like, let's say it's a movie, top 10 ghost movies, and you've got Ghostbusters as number 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
You gave it 5 stars. How am I supposed to know what I gave Ghostbusters? Because you're saying it's your favorite. I want to know immediately without having to go search Ghostbusters and look at my star ranking. So it should show for movies that you've both seen, it should show both of your rankings right next to each other when you're looking at lists, which is kind of like a user comparison feature, like you already talked
Yeah.
about. But I've always found it confusing because I'll look at a list and I'll see those star rankings next to each item,
Yeah.
and I'll be like, "There's no way I ranked at that."
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, "Oh,
Oh,
that's
it's their
right.
ranking.
It's their list, so
Yeah.
it's their stars."
Yeah. Okay. My number 11.
Okay.
Stills from a movie.
No,
Hold on.
I say no.
Hold on. There's a website I go to.
Called
And-
IMDb.
No.
They got a stills collection.
No, it's not IMDb. And if you want to, you can click a little box,
Mhm.
click it, and it'll just show you a random 5 stills from the film. Not an intentional 5 stills.
Like screenshots?
Screenshots.
Oh, not like on-set photos.
No, absolutely not. No. You click the button, all of a sudden appearing will be 5 screenshots randomly from the movie, maybe like
Mhm.
every 20 minutes or something.
They refresh them every 20 minutes?
No. But I mean, every 20 minutes from the film, you know.
Oh, okay.
Like it's algorithmically determined or whatever.
Gotcha.
And I find it kind of helpful to give you a sense of a film, right? Because you know you can look at it as like this film looks more interesting than just the poster. Because the poster is a marketing material, right? The
Sure.
poster might have nothing to do with what the actual film is like.
Right.
This gives me a sense of like, oh, this is a super low quality looking film, you know, that had an interesting poster and an interesting log line, and then I look at it, it's like a made for TV quality film, you know.
Mhm.
Or it's like this looks super intriguing, sci-fi, or blah blah blah. It just it gives me a little clue about the film, being able to actually see the film itself, rather than just the marketing material.
And this wouldn't be like a menu item. It would be a checkbox somewhere?
It's just like a, you know how like on our website you can click it to see our lists.
Yeah.
It's like that, like a hidden kind of thing. If you want to see it, you click it. It shows the stills.
I'm not
Or maybe-
against it, but I also would never use it.
Sure, but you do get the sense that like when you actually see the movie itself rather than the poster,
Mhm.
you can get a better sense for what the film's going to be, right?
What if instead of that, you know, up in the header of every movie, they have like a still from
Yeah.
the movie?
Which I like.
What if that was just a slideshow where you could left?
Same
left?
deal. I'd be happy.
I'm fine with that because
So-
then nothing changes.
Is that what it is? Is it a slide?
If they did that.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Right now, it's just one image from the movie.
If I could like click through and see different movies, because I find that helpful, right? To see the image. It's
Hmm.
nice.
I
You
don't
could
even
care
notice
less.
it
Okay.
anymore.
My number 12. I don't exactly remember what this means, but I'm gonna guess what I meant.
You're
by
only
this.
on number 12? You had more than 16.
1 through 12. I've done.
Oh, you're towards the end of your list.
I have after
We
this.
should flip back and forth.
We will. After this, I have 5.
Perfect. So after this, we'll
Exactly, yeah.
flip back and forth.
My number 12, Super Friends score.
Okay, so the Super Friends already has to be implemented.
No, it doesn't. This is separate from the Super Friends. I've just borrowed the name because it's so good.
Okay.
I want to see who on Letterboxd is the most similar to me.
Okay.
Or the least similar. Give everyone, if let's say I'm going to someone's profile
Right.
and they do a review of a movie, but I see our Super Friends, our score is 3 out of 100. I'm like, okay, well, I don't care what they think about this movie. But if we're like 96%, you know,
Uh-huh.
simpatico, maybe I care more about the review. So I want to know what our score is based on compatibility.
Okay. So like this might not be somebody you even follow.
Right.
You could just come across a random user and be
Yes.
like, "Oh, this person's 98% with me, so
Yes.
I'm going to follow them."
Yes.
I'm down. I like it a lot. My number 5 is physical media collection tagging.
Okay.
Do you know this is a thing?
No.
So on Letterboxd right now, if you're a pro or patron user on Letterboxd, not for the free account, but if you pay for the account like we do, you can make a list and then tag that list with the word own or owned, and it will give you a search feature, a filtering feature on any page where you can filter a list by only showing you the ones that you own.
Okay.
Okay, so like any movie that's in that list is included in this search feature,
Okay.
which is great. And it's a nice little kind of like Easter egg feature for people. But honestly, it doesn't go far enough, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to remember, you have to maintain this list of movies that you own. Otherwise, it's never going to be right, right? You have to remember like, oh, I own this movie. I got to put it in this list. I guess if you own 10 movies, it's fine. But if you own like 1,000 like I do, it's a pain in the butt to like make sure all your movies are in there. So I submit that they should rework this so that much like a watch list, let's make it a special list for movies that you own. Make it so that while you're making this list, you can choose whether it's a DVD or a Blu-ray or a 4K or a Laserdisc or VHS, whatever you want to say. And on top of that, when you're submitting a film via like adding it to your diary, so at the same time that you're rating a movie or you're making a list, you should also be able to tag there own, and it automatically puts it in your collection. Because I'm finding that, like, let's say I want to see if I own Groundhog Day, right? I have to go find my list that I tagged owned and then do a find text for Groundhog Day because I have like over 1,000 movies in that list. It's annoying to scroll. And so, in fact, on the desktop version, I got to go to like page 10 just to get to the G's because it doesn't have infinite scrolling. Anyway, the point is, if you're gonna give us a physical media option, it needs to be rethought. The current way is like, it's like when you ask somebody for apple pie, and instead of that, they give you an apple. And it's like, apples are fine, but I want apple pie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I got you.
Why are you giving me an apple
Yeah.
when I asked for apple pie?
I currently the same like you. I keep a Letterboxd list of movies that I own.
Right.
But it quickly gets outdated, and then you're not sure what to add unless you redo
you forget
it.
what you added, what you didn't add.
Yeah, and I have to have a separate list for like DVDs and Blu-rays.
Right. It's annoying.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna make it a feature, make it a feature.
Sure. Okay. My next one is best guess for my rating.
Best guess.
Best guess.
So you want Letterboxd to guess what you're gonna
What
rate
I would
it?
rate a film if I watched it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you don't want it to give you a rating suggestion when you log it.
No. No. I want to see when I go to a movie because other sites
You want
have
it to
this.
say based on
Netflix does this.
the
right?
movies
Yeah.
that you've watched, these are the ones
Yes.
we want you to
yeah.
watch.
We think that you'll give this a 4-star based on other films that you've seen.
Mhm.
Netflix does this, right? Like you could even make this searchable where it's like, what are the movies that Letterboxd thinks I will most like?
Mhm.
Right? That'd be cool. A good way to find little films that you wouldn't otherwise
Absolutely.
think about.
Sure.
Best guess.
Why they're not doing that, I don't know. I could not tell you. My number 4 is similar. I think they should have an algorithm-based for you feed. Kind of like TikTok, but not video, obviously. And in this feed should be reviews that they think you'd like based on what you've liked in the past, movies they think you like based on movies you like in the past, and people you should follow based on interactions with the website in the past. Why they don't have that? Like right now, everything that gets recommended to you on the homepage is the same thing that gets recommended to everybody, and it's just whatever's popular on the site at the moment, which is fine information and should be there, but also there should be something personalized to what the site has learned about me.
Yeah.
Because when Morbius is popular on the website, it doesn't necessarily mean I want to see Morbius all over the place, because nothing has indicated that I've interacted with anything Morbius before.
Yeah, it's not personalized to you at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, more list functionality like on iCheck Movies. So by this, I can go to iCheck Movies
Mhm.
and I can sort uh official lists
Mhm.
by like how many movies do I have not seen on the list. So like
Sure.
and find instantly like, oh, there's one movie that I need to see to complete this AFI top 250 or something like that.
Sure.
Top 100. Um when you watch a movie, it like completes it in all these lists, and then you can see in one spot what percentage you're complete in all these different lists. And like for someone who likes lists, that's really fun. That's the only reason why you're on I Check Movies, right? Is to like complete lists and see how far in lists you are and that kind of thing. And you just can't do that in Letterboxd. Not in some sort of bird's eye view way. You can individually see what percentage of this list you've seen, but like you have to find those lists, go to them, and then find out. There's no like chart. Like I Check Movies actually has like a chart system with bar graphs and stuff.
I think Letterboxd actually has that,
Does it?
but I'm forgetting where.
If I go to lists, I don't know where I would even go to.
Mm, I remember seeing a page at some point where, like, on the it had like all the majors, right? Like the
Yeah.
IMDb top 250, the I ch- not I check movies, the they shoot horses, all the top 100 AFI type of stuff, and it had like a little circle that was like, this is the percentage complete, and this is the
That does sound
percentage.
familiar. Do you think
I
that's on
don't remember where it
stats?
was. I'm not seeing it in stats, and it obviously is too buried for anything.
Yeah.
But maybe in stats. Although I think stats just takes us to like our
Okay, actually, stats has a list progress, and it does have 12 lists and kind of like how I do on them.
right. So I check movies has all the popular lists and user submitted as
Exactly.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'd be nice.
And you can highlight some and add them to like your which ones you care about, those kind of things.
It'd be nice if here in stats you could first of all select from all the major popular lists. I mean, this is most of them, but I'm sure there are some more obscure ones that probably aren't here that are still respected.
And it's like Edgar Wright's top 1000 is one of these 12 lists.
Well, you don't. He's not a well respected.
No, it's fine. It's just kind of a random list to be in the top 12 lists I should care about. By the way, I've seen 50% of Edgar Wright's 1000 favorites.
Really? I've only seen 39%.
Ooh.
What? I mean, you've probably finished a couple of these, right? Or at least are really
AFI top
close.
100. Have you finished the AFI top 100?
I have 70% of it.
Wow. Okay. I've completed that. I'm 97% of IMDb top 250.
I have 90. Oh, wait. IMDb top 250. I have 77%.
Okay.
The one I have the most of is the Box Office Mojo All Time 100. Because it's all the blockbusters.
I'm at 82% on that.
I'm at 93%. And I'm willing to bet it's kids' films.
Probably Madagascar.
Oh, I've seen all the Madagascar
Yeah.
movies.
That's exactly. Here.
Do you want to know which ones I haven't seen?
I'll tell you the ones I haven't seen. You tell me the ones you haven't seen.
Okay. I haven't seen Frozen 2, Minions,
This is exactly what I'm.
Despicable Me 3.
I want to hide all these.
Minions, Rise of Gru, Wolf Warrior 2, which I think is a Chinese film. Hi Mom, which I think is a Chinese film, and that's it. 2 Chinese films
Wow.
and 4 kids movies that are
Okay.
all Minions.
I have
related.
18. Do you want to hear them real quick?
Yeah.
Frozen 2, which I've totally seen, so I need to add that. Minions, Transformers Dark of the Moon, Transformers Age of Extinction, Despicable Me 3,
Mhm.
Alice in Wonderland, Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, Minions The Rise of Gru, The Battle at Lake Changjin. You've seen that?
I don't know what that is, but obviously I've seen it.
Ice Age Dawn of the Dinosaurs, Ice Age Continental Drift, Wolf Warrior 2, Venom, Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 2, Hi Mom, Shrek the Third, Jumanji The Next Level, and Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Men Tell No Tales.
I don't know why Battle. I don't know why that I didn't see that when the battle one. I didn't see it when I was rolling through the. But I haven't seen that either. But
So-
that's another Chinese movie.
Yeah.
I feel like I would see that though. The Battle at Lake Changjin looks awesome.
I've heard it's
Korean
good.
War in winter 1950 in the frozen and snowy area of Changin Lake. A bloody battle is about to begin between the elite troops of the United States and China.
I have seen the trailer for this, and I think I've told you to watch it because the trailer looks amazing.
I'm into it. I will say that of the people that have watched it, not good.
Any Super Friends?
I don't know. No Super Friends. Just
Back on those
randos.
list progresses, what's your top 250 horror percentage?
Top 250 horror, 35%.
Nice. I'm at 23%.
What about women directed?
13%.
Zach, you got to get working. I'm at 19%. I like women more than you do. Directors.
No.
Directors.
That's not what that means.
How many of the 250?
How many? Well, what? What does that mean?
I've watched 49 of the 250.
I've watched 33.
I like them 16 more. Oscar, you've probably seen all the Best Picture winners, right?
Not yet. I will, but I've seen 79% of them.
But you're way more than I am. I'm at 55%, which is actually surprising to me. I thought I hadn't seen way less.
See, here's the thing. It's really fun looking at this. Like, I like the idea of lists and percentage and how many have you seen of these lists. I just want more than these 12. I didn't even know I could do this, so this is great.
Sure.
They've half implemented what I want, but it's kind of hard to find.
It's kind of like the physical media stuff.
Yeah.
Like Apple versus applesauce.
Yeah.
Or
what do you
pie, rather. My number 3. They should absolutely be doing this. That's why it's my number 3. 100%. I don't know why they haven't done this. They should implement basic social media commenting features, like a like button for comments, user tagging, so that if I'm commenting on a list way over there and I want you at Shabin to come see this or come look at this, or I'm saying, hey, at Shabin thinks this, I should be able to tag you and you should get notified.
Yeah.
Just like every other social media website in existence.
Yeah.
You should be able to do that on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
And threaded comments.
Yeah. Threaded comments would be great.
So that, like, if you look at the replies of a Letterboxd post or review or whatever that gets a lot of action, it's impossible to decipher.
It's kind of a mess.
Because there's 10 people having conversations, and sometimes the messages are like 10 posts below the next one.
Yeah.
It's totally made sense when you had no users.
Yeah.
But now that you have a lot of users, you got to fix the commenting, because I don't even go there anymore because it's pointless.
Yeah. All right. My number 15. I don't care that much about this one, but it's click through multiple movie posters. So
click through multiple.
Sometimes Letterboxd will show you a poster, and it's not the poster you're familiar with.
Okay.
It'd be nice if you could just, with the poster, there's a little arrow and you click through and it shows you all the different posters that it has for that movie.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And you could see like, oh yeah, I do know this movie. I just recognize a different poster. Or like, I know there's a different poster out there that's cool looking. I want to see it again. I don't have to Google it.
Gotcha. So if you didn't know that was there, it wouldn't get in your way.
No.
But
you can click a little arrow and it'll cycle through all the different movie posters that it automatically pulls from whatever database it's pulling from.
Sure. I'm fine with that because it's unintrusive but useful to people who know that it exists.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. My second most wanted feature, 100% they should do this tomorrow, is make a list from any page. Okay? So if I want to make a top 10 list of Reese Witherspoon movies, I should be able to go to Reese Witherspoon's movie page and click a button that says make a list from this page. And then it takes all those movies, loads it into a list for me, and then I remove all the movies that I don't want. Or make a list from this page, and then it asks me a question. Would you like to only include the ones that you've watched? Would you like to include all of them? Would you like to get rid of the ones that they make cameos in that don't matter, or documentaries they were in? Whatever. But it should be far easier to get lists started in that way. You could go to your films page and go to Westerns, released in 1980. And then it'll show you all the Westerns in 1980 that you've watched. And then you click make a list from this page and it makes a list of all of them. And then you just have to rank them. You don't have to type in each individual title again. 100% they should do this from a quality of life for the website, experience improvement. They should do it tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. My number 16. This one plays off of my absolute favorite hidden feature of Letterboxd. It's super
So
hidden.
it's not a feature that they need. It's a feature they
No.
need to make more
No,
prominent.
it is a feature that they need.
You said they just have it.
But it is based off of a feature that they already have.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And that is the fans. Do you know about the fans feature on Letterboxd? Fans.
I don't even
It
know
is
what that
such a unemphasized part of Letterboxd.
Okay.
But I think it is one of the most fun things you can do with Letterboxd.
Okay.
Go to a movie. Go to any movie.
I'm at Wolf Warrior 2.
Love it. Okay. Look at the ratings. It's Wolf Warrior 2, what? 3.9 or whatever, right?
It says 2 fans.
2 fans. Click on that.
Okay.
Okay. What a fan is they have that movie in their top 4 on their profile.
Oh.
That is a fan.
I did not know that.
Exactly. It is such a fun way to think about a movie. Okay.
Mhm.
So for instance, you have labor pains on your top 4.
Absolutely.
You
How
know-
many other people do?
There's 2 people, you and someone else.
I have to know this person.
Don't you want to friend that person?
Absolutely. I'm going to do it right now.
That's what I'm saying. What it does is when you look at the fans
I can't believe only 2 people like this movie.
in their top 4, what it does. So the movie you had to your top 4, that's a big thing, right? That's a statement that you're making, right? When you go to fans, you can see what everyone rated it, who hearted it, and it shows you the reviews right there.
This
So
person's active too.
I love it. So you can click on the reviews, right? So you can see people that like a movie enough that it's in their top 4 and read the reviews. You can add them all right there. It's amazing. It's such a great feature. It's so hidden on the site that most people don't even know about it or what it means.
I didn't know about it.
And so any movie you go to, right? Any movie you go to, you can look at the fans and then see what other movies are in their top 4. And you get a really good sense of what kind of movie watcher someone is by their top 4 movies, right? So it's like, oh, the other 3 movies they like are awesome or terrible. That tells me a lot about this person based on this movie. You know what I mean? Like it gives you a lot of
Sure.
information. So I would love
For them to not hide this.
to not hide it. And also, it would be
Expand it.
so fun to be able to rank movies by how many fans there are. So what movie is the most fanned movie? I have no idea. What movie is the most top in the most people's top 4?
I could tell you.
I have no clue.
I could tell you.
What is it?
Are
you guessing?
Dark Knight.
And then you're going to click around. So here's
I dare you to find
No, no.
people with more a movie with more fans than the
no,
Dark
but
Knight.
James, this is what I want. Are you listening to this?
Mhm.
I want to be able in any list rank it by number of fans.
I understand. You want it to be like a filter type thing,
Absolutely.
or like a.
So if I'm in a list of Korean movies from the 70s, right?
Mhm.
And then I can sort it by number of fans, that gives me some cool information. That's like, this is the movie that the most people have in their top 4. I think that's a cool stat. And I'm more interested in the movie then.
Sure. The Dark Knight has 51K.
Sure. Let me look at Endgame.
Okay.
What do you think has more, Endgame or Dark Knight?
Probably Dark Knight. It's been on the site longer.
It has, but not more recently. 13K. Yeah. Okay.
Dark Knight has had the full life of Letterboxd for people to add it to their top 4. So like people who were into Letterboxd in 2014 who haven't touched it in 5 years have Dark Knight on as their
Totally
top
makes sense.
4.
But yeah, I want to sort fans by filter, and I want fans to not be so hidden that no one knows about it.
Sure.
And it's really fun to look around with fans, especially movies you care about or hate.
I never knew about that feature. I like it. I like it a lot. My number 1 most wanted feature, 100%. And I don't think this is like something they have to do. I just think it's something they should do because I want it. And obviously, other people want it because it made your list and it made the Stan email.
Watch this notes.
100%. They should make watch list notes so that you can remember why you added something to your watch list. To go even further, it should automatically generate system watch list notes for you. So if I am on your review and I click add to watch list, even if I don't want to put in my own little text of Zach really loved this and blah, 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 it should be like, it should tell me when I roll over the movie with my mouse or go to the watch list, it should say, you watch listed this from Zach's review. That's enough of a watch list note for me, for 98% of it. The rest of it is like, yeah, if I want to type text, kind of like when you leave a review, right? When you leave a review, you can either leave text or not. It should be the same. You click watch list, it pops open a little window, and you can submit it without typing a single thing, or you type in. Either way, it should say where you came from when you watched
Just
it.
Snap a picture from the webcam and save the photo. No, I'm just kidding. Just like where you are.
Oh, where
physically
you
in the
were?
room.
No, no, no.
Yeah, no,
where you were on the website.
Absolutely. I would love
because I think that'll explain a lot.
Yeah.
If you were looking at the top 100, I don't know, martial arts movies list, it should be like, this is where you watch listed it from.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now I know. I was looking at a list of good martial arts movies. That's why I did it.
Yeah.
So you're not bothering the people who don't care about a watch list. In fact, you're giving them a little more information. And the people that really do care about knowing why that movie's on their watch list, they can add 10 paragraphs of text of why they should watch this movie if they want to. Absolutely should do that tomorrow.
All right, I've got two more.
It's not a two more.
One, badges.
We don't need no stinking badges.
Go to my profile, maybe some badges. I don't know what the badges would be. I want badges.
No badges.
Some badges.
That is, what is this, Facebook?
If I have the 12 trophy, I want a badge.
No badge.
Badges.
I don't like badges.
You don't like badges?
No.
I like badges. You've been here 7 years. Badge. Thank you. Number 18.
Like Reddit?
Sure.
No.
Badges. Number 18. This is my only like technical one.
Okay.
Like it's like your infinite scroll, right?
Can't wait.
When you're making a list.
You know this episode is 2 hours long.
Yeah. When you're making a list
and you're checking it twice.
And you're adding movies.
Okay.
After about like 5 or 6, it unhighlights the search bar.
Okay.
So you have to re-click on the search bar to keep adding movies. So like you type the Purple Rose of Cairo, enter.
Right.
Then you can, it's still highlighted, so you can then type in your next movie, enter. You do that 5 times, and then for whatever reason, it unhighlights the search bar. So you have to then leave your keyboard, move up with the mouse, click on the search bar again, and then you can add more movies.
Wait, say that again?
When you're adding movies in the list, okay?
Right.
You type in The Godfather, press enter.
Right.
It adds The Godfather.
Oh, and it scrolls you down.
Yeah, but the cursor is still in the search bar.
That's how it currently works.
Yes. So now you can add The Godfather 2, press enter. And it just keeps adding. So you don't have to bother with the mouse. You're just typing movies away. But after about 5 or 6, it moves the cursor out of the search bar.
Why?
I don't know why it does that, but it does.
I've never even noticed
So then you have to then move the cursor back in the search bar every 6 movies and start again. And it's super annoying.
That is so dumb.
It should just stay. I don't know why it leaves. I think probably because it's scrolling the list or something.
It's because it's adding movies to the bottom of the list.
Right.
Every time.
Yeah. In fact, I would love it if it added to the top of the list instead of the bottom. So that
it makes sense to me.
Static.
Every time I have to do that, I have to remember that it's going to add it to the bottom of the list. Because I'd rather do it that way and then tell it to put it in order.
Yeah.
Rather than like having to drag things up and down.
But it can stay, the cursor stays in there for a few movies. So like just stay there for all the movies.
Yeah. I agree. That's more of a bug, I think, than a feature.
Sure.
They need to bug fix that. Because I think they think it stays up there. You think it's like written into the software to like have the cursor move out after
Mm-mm.
5? I don't either. That
I
sounds like
don't.
a bug.
Yeah.
The other thing I used to have a monkey script for was below the movie. I used to get IMDb, Wikipedia, and Rotten Tomatoes links with a percentage from Rotten Tomato. That was very useful. And then they
Yeah.
changed the layout and it broke the script. And the person that wrote the script never bothered to update it. So
Sure.
I had to get rid of it. But that was really nice seeing a tomato meter on the page without having to leave Letterboxd.
Yeah.
So if that person can write some monkey script to go get that percentage, then certainly Letterboxd can figure out how to do it, in my opinion. Hopefully, if you're a Letterboxd fan, this was fun to listen to. If you weren't a Letterboxd fan, why would you listen to this? I have no clue. It was fun to talk with you about it, Zach.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Was there anything that I suggested that hits the top of your mind as like something that absolutely should be happening?
I mean, watch list notes, but I had that too.
Yeah.
And Stan had that. I mean, everyone has that.
Right. Remind me of yours again, real quick. Oh, Super Friends. That's the one that I think hits the top of my brain the most of like,
You would use that.
absolutely. I mean, I just have a lot of
Yeah.
people I follow. And so
Yeah.
it would be helpful to say, like, these are the 20 I actually care about.
Yeah. You also liked account to account comparisons. You liked similar films. And you liked fans.
And there should just be some kind of recommendation algorithm
Yes.
going on here. And there literally is not
Yeah.
any recommendation algorithm. I'm not saying turn it into Facebook or Instagram where like your entire feed, it should still be chronological, but somewhere on the site you should be able to go to a tab where it's all recommendations, not based on who you follow. So, all right. Well, that was fun. Thank you for listening. If anybody from Letterboxd has listened to this and wants to contact us directly for more information on what they should be doing with their business, it's pretty easy. You could find us via email at heyguys@cinereelists.com, REEL with an S on the end. Do you think somebody at Letterboxd will listen to this? Because I'm sure nobody has done a 2-hour podcast episode on what they're doing wrong.
Yeah, they'll listen.
You think at least one Letterboxd, somebody who's paid by Letterboxd, will listen to this?
I do. We were the first podcast featured in Letterboxd, like, newsletter.
I don't know if we were the first podcast ever featured,
in
but
their
we
newsletter.
were featured in their newsletter.
The first one, because it was their first newsletter that they sent out.
No, that was not their first newsletter.
It was their first.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
I don't think it was their first newsletter. I think it was the first time they mentioned podcasts in a newsletter.
Maybe the first time they had a section for podcasts or like whatever.
That's possible.
Yeah,
for sure. But we were mentioned in their newsletter circa 2015 or so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you are from Letterboxd, I'm sure you've heard all these things before, but fix your crap, I guess, is the bottom line.
Yeah.
Because we have nowhere else to go. It's like, then they know it.
But I love Letterboxd.
I'm
a lover.
What feature on your list? We gotta go. But what feature on your list would move you from patron to pro, or pro to patron? The $20 to $50 a year.
Oh, easy badges. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
We don't need any badges. No other feature?
No, all of them. They're all fantastic.
If they added user-generated watch lists, system would be great. But at least add user-generated watch lists. That would be worth $30 a year to me.
Sure.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that being said, that should be available to everybody. They should not paywall that. I think it's very useful and not in a we're going to hold you ransom for $50 a year kind of way.
Yeah.
Should be a basic usability thing. Anyway, thanks for listening is the bottom line. And email us, heyguys@cinereelists.com. You can also find us on social media at Cinereelists on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. What else?
TikTok, right?
Where you can find our one TikTok. Yeah, you can find us on all of those places. You could also find me online at YoJRB on Letterboxd or Twitter.
You find me on Letterboxd and Twitter at Shaubin.
Next week, I'm assuming Kyle will be back, and we will probably have another special guest for our discussion on Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which is a movie I've already seen.
Whoa. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And I am not going to tell Zach what I thought about it because he's very influenced by other people's opinions.
Apparently
I am. So yeah, come on back next week. If this one wasn't your bag, why did you listen this far? But if it wasn't, come on back next week for populist entertainment galore, I guess. We'll see you then. Keep it Cinereal.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.